What's up, everyone, and welcome to NFL Nexus, your spot for the deepest dives in the league. You know, in the NFL, two legends can be standing at the exact same point in their careers, but be looking at two completely different roads ahead. Today, we are breaking down the incredibly high-stakes decisions facing two of the game's biggest names, Zach Ertz and Von Miller. Their next moves could send ripples across the entire league. Make sure you're subscribed, and let's get right into it.
You know, for a player who has literally poured their blood, sweat, and tears into the game, that final chapter, man, it is often the most difficult one to write. That choice between chasing one more year of glory or just walking away gracefully, it's a dilemma that has defined so many legacies. And today, we're putting two absolute legends, Zach Ertz and Von Miller, right under the microscope. Both guys are at a career crossroads, but you're about to see their paths forward could not be more different.
So how are these two incredible stories going to unfold? Well, here's the game plan for today's explainer. First, we are going to untangle the very complicated situation surrounding Zach Ertz's big decision. Then, we'll look at why his current team, Washington, might actually be looking to the future without him. From there, we'll totally switch gears to Von Miller's path, which seems, well, a lot more straightforward. And then, we'll bring it all together, comparing these two legends and predicting where they might just land for their final act. All right, first up, let's talk about the enigma that is Zach Ertz. I mean, this past season showed us everything. His enduring talent, but also his vulnerability to a brutal injury. Right now, Ertz is basically caught in this tug of war between loyalty to his current team and the legacy he built somewhere else. The choice he's facing, it is so much more than just signing a contract. This decision is going to define the final pages of his amazing career.
Seriously, just put yourself in his shoes for a second. It's a tough spot. Do you stay with the team that gave you a new lease on life, the Washington Commanders? Or do you answer that call to go home, to Philadelphia, and get a chance to close the circle where it all started? And you know, always lurking in the background is that specter of retirement, a choice that no great player ever wants to be forced to make. The stakes really couldn't be any higher for him.
And this quote, wow, this quote says it all, doesn't it? For a warrior, a competitor like Zach Ertz, the thought of his last play being a cart ride to the locker room is just unbearable. It's not just about recovering from the injury. It's about dignity, it's about pride, and it's about that deep-seated need that all the greats have to go out on their own terms. That right there, that's the fire driving him to defy the odds and get back on that field. So, what's the bottom line here? Let's just lay out the facts. Ertz is a 35-year-old free agent, and yeah, he's coming off a major knee injury. But, and this is a big but, he was also a key weapon for the Commanders before he went down. He was a go-to guy. And with reports saying his recovery is well ahead of schedule, he's actually in a position to call his own shot. The real question is, which shot is he going to take? So Ertz is basically standing at a fork in the road, with two very different destinations in sight. On one side, you've got Washington. That offers familiarity, a proven track record of recent success, but the team's clear youth movement could end up pushing him to the sidelines. On the other side, you've got Philadelphia. That offers a chance at a true fairy tale ending. But what would his role be? At what cost to his playing time? With both teams apparently in the mix, this has turned into a high-stakes game of chicken. And right now, Ertz is the one in the driver's seat. But here's the thing. This isn't a one-way street. It's not just Ertz's decision. The Commanders have their own agenda, their own 5-year plan, and it might not include a 35-year-old tight end coming off a torn ACL. See, the team has been quietly building a really impressive youth movement at the position, and that right there might be the single biggest obstacle to Ertz returning to Washington. For the Commanders, it's really just a simple case of math. They have invested significant draft capital and resources in young tight ends, and now, well, it's time to see what they've got. Bringing back a veteran like Ertz, as talented as he still is, would create a logjam. It would absolutely hinder the development of their future stars. It's that classic battle of past versus future, and all the signs point to the Commanders leaning heavily towards the future. Leading that charge is Chig Okonkwo, a really dynamic pass catcher they brought in specifically to be the future at the position. You can think of him as the designated heir to Ertz's throne as the primary receiving tight end. And his presence alone makes a reunion with the veteran a really tricky proposition. With Okonkwo in the mix, Washington feels like they already have their go-to guy. And then, waiting right there in the wings is Ben Sinnott, a super promising young talent who looks like he's on the verge of a breakout season. This is a massive year for him. It's his year to prove he's a long-term starter, and to do that, he needs every single snap he can get. Bringing Ertz back would put a ceiling on his potential and leave the Commanders with a big question mark at a key position down the line. And hey, don't sleep on John Bates, who's kind of the unsung hero of this group. He is a dominant road grading blocker who gives the offense a whole new dimension. He's the guy that lets them get into those heavy 3 tight end sets. So when you look at these 3 young talents together, the Commanders have a really complete and versatile tight end room. It's a crowded house, and there just might not be any room for a returning veteran. Okay, so from the murky, complicated waters of Zach Ertz's future, we now turn to the crystal clear path of another legend, Von Miller, and it's a totally different story. While Ertz is trying to navigate this maze of uncertainty, Miller's final chapter seems to be writing itself. He is a living, breathing testament to the idea that some players, they just get better with age. Now, I want you to just focus on one number for a moment. Just this one number. It's a number that defies logic, it defies age, and it definitely defies expectations. That number is 9. 9.0. 9 sacks. For a 37-year-old pass rusher, that is not just a good season, it's a massive statement. It is definitive proof that Von Miller is still one of the most dangerous men in the entire NFL. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. 37 years old. In the brutal, unforgiving world of the NFL trenches, that is practically ancient. I mean, most guys are long retired by then. But Von Miller isn't just surviving out there, he is absolutely thriving. He's putting up numbers that would make a pass rusher in his prime, a 25-year-old, jealous. And that is why his future is so much clearer than Ertz's. So how in the world did he do it? Well, it's not like he was out there playing every single down. In fact, get this, he only started 3 games all season. But when he was on the field, he was a wrecking ball. He was basically a designated assassin, a third down nightmare for every quarterback he faced. And that's exactly what makes him so valuable now. He's a low-mileage, high-impact weapon that any Super Bowl contender would kill to have on their roster. You know, when you are a legend of Von Miller's stature, you don't just sign with any old team. You sign with a team that has a story, a team that means something. And for Miller, there's really only one team that fits that bill, the Denver Broncos. It's a homecoming that feels like it's been years in the making. It's that final ride into the sunset for one of the greatest players to ever wear the orange and blue. I mean, come on, it's a match made in football heaven. The Broncos don't need Miller to be an every-down player. They just need him to be a closer, a hired gun who can come in on 3rd and long and just end the game. For a coach like Sean Payton, that is an absolute dream come true. Plus, and this is key, Miller has already made it very clear that he wants to come home. This isn't just a good fit, folks. This feels like destiny. And the best part? It's a move that makes perfect sense for the checkbook, too. Now, while Miller could probably get more money on the open market from a desperate team, all signs are pointing to him taking a hometown discount to go back to Denver. This is about way more than just money. It's about legacy, and it's about a chance to end his career right where it all began. For a few $1 million less, Miller can secure a priceless ending to his Hall of Fame story. So what do these 2 stories really tell us about the final chapter of an NFL career? They show us that there's no one-size-fits-all ending. It's not always neat and tidy. For some, it's a messy, complicated divorce. For others, it can be a fairy tale homecoming. But for all of them, it is a journey into the great unknown. When you put it side by side, it's so clear. Zach Ertz is sort of lost in this fog of uncertainty, with no clear, easy path forward. Von Miller, on the other hand, is on a high-speed train to a storybook ending. One story is kind of a cautionary tale about the harsh realities of this league, and the other, well, it's a reminder that sometimes, just sometimes, the good guys do win in the end.
So, after all that, what does the crystal ball say? After all the analysis, all the speculation, and all the drama, where will these 2 future Hall of Famers actually land? All right, it is time to make our predictions.
Okay, if I were a betting man, I'd put my money on Zach Ertz landing back in Philly with the Eagles. The Commanders seem all in on their youth movement, and honestly, the Eagles could really use a veteran leader like him to help get them over the hump. As for Von Miller, it's a no-brainer. He is going back to Denver to ride off into the sunset. It's the feel-good story of the offseason, and it's a move that just makes way too much sense not to happen. So, let's end with this. Which of these moves would absolutely break the internet? Would it be the prodigal son, Zach Ertz, returning to Philadelphia to take on his old team twice a year? Or would it be the conquering hero, Von Miller, coming home to Denver to make one last run at a title? It's a debate that could go on for weeks. So I want to hear from you. Which move would have you and your friends buzzing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. That is all the time we have for this edition of NFL Nexus. Thanks for geeking out with us today. Hey, if you want to support the channel and maybe get a little creative yourself, check out our coloring books. They're seriously perfect for kids, grandkids, and yeah, even for adults. You can find the link right in the description or just scan the QR code on the screen. And please, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the stories that shape this league. Until next time, take it easy.